Hey, it's Rick Fix. Welcome back. Well, I got a few days before I head down to Florida, so I'm going to try and go after that oil leak on my between my bell housing and my oil pan. I had put some dye in my oil a few weeks back, and I searched around, and I found a couple spots that were leaking oil. I first thought it was coming from my top of my engine, but as you can see, it looks dirty up there, but it's really not leaking any. And then I snooped around the bottom part and along above the oil pan, that you got those outer bolts, those main cap outer bolts. They looked like they were leaking, but I cleaned them all off, and it came back to it a couple days later, and they weren't leaking. As you can see, the oil cooler above the filter there was leaking a little bit. So what I did is I took it off and put some of this, the Right Stuff Permatex. Is this Permatex? Yeah, I think so. The Right Stuff. It's really good gasket sealer. And that seemed to solve that problem. So I cleaned it off, and I still got that leak, dripping out of that little weep hole. So I did what any, normal person would do. I called Steve Robb, my buddy up there by Muskrat Dan. And he told me about this product, but he wanted to keep his name anonymous just in case it didn't work. So I will not be using Steve Robb's name anymore during this video. It's called AT205 RESEAL Stop Leak. So I had ordered the stuff from Amazon, and it took a couple days to get here. And then I went on their website, and they're out of Elk Grove, Illinois, which is only about 15 minutes away from me. So that was kind of interesting. So I guess what you do is you just pour it in the oil, and it goes up to the seals, and it supposedly, expands them, makes them rubber again. I don't know what it does, but, some people have said it works great. Some people says it doesn't work at all, depending on how bad the seal is, if it's cracked, if it's, damaged. But we're going to try it out. So I thought about doing is opening up the bell housing view cover, whatever that thing's called, and, cleaning it out there and just spray it in directly. So Steve Robb said, you know what, we can do one better. I guess he has a bunch of these endoscopes that I can plug into my laptop that we could sneak up in there. So I asked him, where'd you get these? And he said that he had a tickle in his anus, and he had about 10 of them. I guess the doctor just gives them to the client now that they're so cheap and everything. So I said, thank you very much, and I'm going to attach a 12 solid wire to this so we can get it nice and deep inside that bell housing. That's what Steve said, the deeper the better. And we'll see if we can even see if the rear main seal is leaking or the rear main seal cover plate is leaking. And then I'm going to spray a bunch of brake cleaner in there. And I bought 2 bottles of this, so I'm going to take one of the bottles, put it in a spray bottle, and I'm going to spray around the rear main oil seal and wherever else I can spray with those 2 or 3 access points I have in there. So let me get the camera situated. Oh, before that, I'm going to put a link down in the description for Steve Robb's channel, because he said he had like 9 of these left. So you might want to go over to his channel, subscribe, and ask him if you could get one of these endoscopes, because I guess it's one use, and he said his anus is still tickly. So who knows, maybe you might have more of them. All right, let me get the camera situated, and let's begin this project. Okay, I'm at the cam position sensor. It looks dirty, but it doesn't really look wet. And this is the oil sending unit. Same thing. Looks dirty, but it doesn't look wet. Now I'm going through the access plug at the bottom of the bell housing. It looks damp. There's nothing dripping. With the $50 size oil drip I have every day at the truck when I leave in the morning. There we go. There's some oil right there. Yeah, it kind of looks like that rear main seal could be leaking. But it's weird how the back of the flywheel is dry. At the top of the I'm at the top of the rear main seal bracket. And these bolts look like they're leaking. So it's either the gasket to the rear main seal again. Let's see if we can go all the way on top there. All right, so we're right at the top where the rear main seal meets the edge of the oil pan. Yeah, they're wet. They're definitely wet. That one looks pretty wet. That's the top bolt of the bracket to the rear main seal cover. Okay, originally I was going to spray the AT205 on that gasket or the rear main seal, but I don't think that would have made a difference. So I'm just going to pour the one container of AT25 inside the tank. It says one container per 6 quarts. This holds about 6 quarts. All right, it's going to be interesting to see if this seals that rear main seal or the rear main seal cover plate or even the oil gasket rear pan, and if the drips stop. So I'm going to drive around for a couple days. I'm going to clean it off in about an hour or so when I'm done working, and then we'll see. All right, well, it's been about 3 days. I washed off the bell housing and the starter 3 days ago, and I've been driving around doing errands. And as you can see, there is absolutely no oil down there. Holy shit. I can't believe, well, I can believe that this stuff worked that well. You know, not only did it reseal whatever was leaking, the rear main seal or the rear main seal cover plate, and there's not a spot of oil down there. You know, I was noticing it in the morning when I was driving away that quarter-inch size, $half-inch size oil wasn't there anymore, but I didn't want to look at it. I wanted to give it a couple days. But sure as shit, ADP Automotive out of Elk Grove, Illinois, makes this product called AT205 RESEAL, and that just saved me about 40 hours of work of dropping that transmission and the transfer case and that fucking fly. And, you know, or I take it to a shop and I spend $1,000 to get those seals in there. I'm going to be driving down to Florida in a couple of days, and it's about 1,200 miles, so I'll take some pictures down there too, and we'll see if the seal maintains. But I would imagine it's only going to be better at highway miles and that heat, you know, of the oil and everything. You know, what I also did is I also put this stuff in my my hydraulic jack, that AC DELCO jack that I have that's 13 years old. And sure as shit, man, it sealed that as well. I got a video for that too. I'll put a link down in the description for that. But, you know, I just want to thank, you know, one person in particular, because if it really wasn't for him, none of this would have happened, and that was Steve Robb. I know he wanted to remain anonymous, but, you know, we've been talking back and forth for about a month now, you know, working on this leak and stuff, and he's really been helpful for me. And if it wasn't for his tickly anus, you know, I don't think we would have got the endoscope as deep as we got it inside there. So, once again, thanks, Steve Robb. I'll put a link down to his channel. Go down there and subscribe to his channel and tell him Rickafix says hello. All right, well, thanks again, ADP Automotive out of Elk Grove and your AT205 RESEAL. I'm not making a dime off of this, but I've just saved so much money, I don't really give a shit. All right, thanks, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you on the next round.